Hello everybody, my name is PsychoSap and welcome back for episode 8 of the F1 2022 calendar series. This is the Baku GP or the Azerbaijan GP, and this is one of my favorite street circuits, and I love driving here just because it's so wide and spacious even though it is a city street circuit. Now I'm sure if you guys are following the race this weekend, you would have heard the comment box mention a couple of times that there hasn't been a repeat winner, or I think even a repeat pole position qualifier in this track before, and I'm excited to see the race today. So Charles Leclerc for the win, or maybe not, let's see. Now I've been quite confident since I started using cockpit view. It just feels so stable and secure, and I'm going out on the first lap with my mediums and I'm going to see what time I can get because I'm confident that I can get a good time looking at the practice session timings of others around me. But there we go, that's a P4 and that's actually quite good on mediums. But let's see if that progresses, and maybe if I drop off, that's going to be an issue because I don't want to be starting too far back. But in that case, I will have to go for a soft run, and I'm pretty sure in a soft run I will be getting pole position. So let's keep things challenging. Let's start P4 if you don't drop off too far, and let's see how it goes. Let's prepare the safety net then. Let's go out on a set of softs and let's observe the timing charts. Now if we fall off from pole position somewhere below 6 or 7, we're not gonna start on mediums and we're gonna go for the soft time. So this has actually been my best sector 2, the castle section, in the entire weekend, and I'm so proud of it. I had to add it in the video. Like I say, I just love this circuit and how challenging it is. So we're about a second up on our time and we're still P4. We're gonna get as close as possible to the pit lane, and let's see, because I'm pretty sure most of the drivers were ahead of me when I came out of the pits. So let's go ahead and abort that lap and we're gonna start on the mediums tomorrow, guys. Let's go. Another interesting fact, Sebastian Vettel and Sergio Perez actually hold the most number of podiums at this track. So it's going to be interesting to see what Perez can do tomorrow. So keep your eyes on him, it's going to be fun today.
With the drivers currently lining up on the grid, it's almost time to begin today's race event here. We're on the winding streets of Baku. The Baku city circuit measures roughly 6 kilometers and is made up of 20 corners and 2 DRS zones. The circuit winds around the narrow city, through the old town, and even brushes against the city's medieval walls. However, as beautiful as the setting is, this track is also a ferocious technical challenge, where the smallest of mistakes could lead to catastrophic consequences for all of our drivers. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box. And it's fantastic to have you with us here today, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn 1. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course, you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position. And Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Perez, Lando Norris and Bottas, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Ocon and Fernando Alonso, Sainz, Vettel, Pierre Gasly and Stroll, Russell, Raikkonen, Antonio Giovinazzi and Mick Schumacher, Latifi and Nikita Mazepin. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So here we go then, let's set up the car for the race start, and we're going to set the lowest minimum amount of fuel that's required. And of course we're going to have to spend some time and effort heating and warming up the brakes and tires, and we're also starting on mediums, which will take longer to warm up here in Baku. If you guys followed the quali session yesterday, George, Russell and I think even some of the other cars were taking 2 laps to actually warm up their tires before going on a fast lap. So So let's get started then. 5 lights for the Baku GP round 8 of the F1 calendar series. And it's lights out and away we go. We get an awesome start and we see some struggle to get off the line for the Mercedes ahead. So we squeeze in, brake late and get past both cars. We're up into P2 now. Red Bull 1-2 so far. Now on the mediums, I'm not going to be able to maintain enough pace to keep everyone behind on soft tires. So let's see how this goes. Let's take a look. Behind there we have a little bit of squabble between Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, who have dropped off a little bit from me. But we get some awesome side-by-side action. Let's see who comes out in front after this duel. So we have Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton on the outside taking up the racing line, which gives him better traction and better control out of the corner. But can Charles Leclerc fight back? Probably not. He doesn't have the best traction out of the corners. So here we go, lap 2 then. Hamilton's getting oh so very closer to me. I'm lacking a little bit of pace on those mediums because of the slight lack of grip, which will take some laps to get back. But let's see if we can get a position. We squeeze Hamilton slightly off the wall. Now give him a little bit of space, but he doesn't have the straight line speed anymore because of lifting. Let's see if Lewis makes another move or another chance next lap on me. Lap 3 then, 1 lap down, and Lewis Hamilton still maintains that gap to me of a half a second. And of course I'm still struggling with grip on those medium tires. So he's getting so very close. Let's see if he can make a move this time. See if we can cover him off with all that ERS deployment. I've also been using up a lot of ERS for defense, so I'm pretty sure that I won't be able to manage it well. So Hamilton goes ahead. Let's see if he can maintain that position, see if he can push through. No, late braking will not work. Hamilton is quite a bit ahead, and with the medium tires, it's not going to be giving me enough grip. With the DRS wide open, maybe let's see if we can gain a little bit on Lewis Hamilton, then brake late, and maybe force him to go a little bit wider. No, not on this occasion. Alright, we will try again. So while this was happening between me and Lewis, there was a little bit of a squabble down here in the midfield between Charles Leclerc and Daniel Ricciardo. So let's take a look then. Ricciardo's getting so close to Charles Leclerc in that slipstream. The McLaren's looking pretty speedy this weekend again, but we can notice that the Ferrari also has the DRS wide open and the McLaren is still faster. So the inside line didn't give Danny Rick so much grip, so he actually had to slow down. But let's see, another DRS zone coming up. Let's see if he can maintain or even push for a position. Now of course this time around Charles Leclerc doesn't have the DRS. He has dropped off a little bit from Valtteri Bottas. Ricciardo has managed to get alongside the Ferrari, but let's see if he can maintain or get a position there. So he now pushes the Ferrari wider and he takes slightly better line, but he doesn't get the traction out of the corner. Now Leclerc still ahead, but McLaren has that better straight line speed. He does manage to get forward. You can still see him side by side, and in this occasion Charles Leclerc stays ahead and he doesn't manage to make another move on Charles Leclerc again. Now lap 5 then, I managed to close the gap a little bit to Lewis Hamilton, looking to make an overtake. Let's go deep on the brakes, side by side, similar to what happened between Danny Ricciardo and Charles Leclerc. But of course this occasion I have managed to go ahead and stay ahead. Let's take a look at that overtake now. We're pushing Lewis Hamilton slightly wider and taking that track position. Here of course I'm one of the last cars to pit on lap 9. Of course starting on the mediums gave me that little bit of a boost, but the problem is I couldn't manage to maintain enough pace. So let's see, fresh soft tires, we should be able to push a few positions. And Lewis Hamilton and Max have gotten ahead of me, so we're gonna have to close that gap and try and push for P2, which is still reachable. So we have another 4-ish laps and see if we can make that work. So lap 13, the last lap, I've actually managed to close the gap, but I don't seem to have enough ERS to deploy and try and get ahead of Lewis Hamilton. So unfortunately it looks like P2 is out of the picture and it's going to be a Red Bull 1-3. Not bad, and like I said, I love this circuit and I wish the Formula 1 continues for a longer time and of course have an interesting race here today. So I tried to deploy all the ERS and everything that I had, DRS as well, to try and make a move on Lewis Hamilton, but it didn't work out. like it did earlier for Valtteri Bottas a couple of years back, overtaking on the line. But anyway, not bad. Red Bull 1 and 3. Thanks guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Now there wasn't much action down here on the race, but of course it was fun on track. And the cockpit view that I recently started using has given me a lot of confidence, so I'm hoping to have some good races in the future. Now we'll be back again next week with another episode. Until then, do make sure to check out the other episodes and drop a like on this video if you loved Baku too. Thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next one.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.